it opens up and it goes through its sweep.
So what clever but seemingly psychotic thing did we do? Right. Ooh, fancy. And I feel like there's something I'm missing, but the guys will probably yell at me and tell me what it is. No, these are all terrible ideas. Yeah. What's up, people? We are back today with Genius Garage building the Lykan Hypersport from the stunt car body. A lot of things going on, and I did skip last week, largely because all of the progress that was made is all small and sort of intellectual, and the internet would be like, this is boring, I don't see anything different. So I skipped it. A little bit of showmanship, don't hate me. Going to do that. Also, we're getting ready. It's getting toward the end of June. I said it would test on track before the end of June. So let's see what's going on with that. Obviously, they're working on it. And I feel like there's something I'm missing, but the guys will probably yell at me and tell me what it is. So let's go check it out. People, where are we at? Dan, what's going on?
Hood's mounted and hinges and everything.
Okay, do you want to make it like articulate and stuff? You want me to help?
Tyler, go hop.
Oh, you got it.
I got the
okay.
other side here.
Ooh, fancy. Okay, quite nice. So the big thing that went on just the other day was bonding the inner piece that has the mating surface to the weather stripping here of the trunk, which is totally not on there right now.
We were just welding.
I was just welding on the bracket down there, so we had to take it off.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So obviously you guys bonded this to the outer piece. Now both of these came from the molds at W Motors, but they were never attached properly for the stunt. Excuse me. They were never attached properly for the stunt car.
No.
And also there was some trimming that had to be done and some differences. And you guys even did a wet layup of some heavy carbon fiber cloth there just for stiffening.
Yeah, this was kind of flexy before, and we're planning on bonding the brackets up to the top because it's going to get like Corvette style brackets.
Oh, I see. You're probably going to have a couple somewhere around here.
Yeah, so it had to be stiffer up here, you know.
So it's got a little bit of torsion, but this is quite rigid for such a big piece.
Yeah.
Once we have struts on it, it'll be totally solid.
Yeah.
You know, basically what I'm seeing is this is every good in terms of rigidity of a production-based sports car.
I'd say so, yeah.
I think it's quite good. But it's not nearly as heavy as what you'd expect from like a Viper or a Corvette.
Yeah, no.
It's quite light. Okay, that's good. Well, let's see it articulate.
All right. We
That's
still have to
pretty
do
darn
some. We still have to do some brackets and mating on the centerpiece itself to get these to line up right. But we're
It's
getting
not
there.
bad. It's not bad.
We're getting there.
Keep in mind this body was fired out of a cannon from a second-story building height a few times.
Well, that's the problem I'm having with the doors right now too, because before sitting on the original stunt car body, the whole body was like twisted, and so putting it on this car, we've measured everything and we've made the body flat. But now
you're talking about in terms of the whole center section. We were
Yeah.
really particular about getting it spot on.
Correct. Yeah, but it was not spot on the stunt car, so it had quite a bit of twistiness going on. And now that we've worked all that twistiness out, we're trying to make panels fit again now that everything's straight.
So what you're saying is we either should have left the whole car be crap and look good, but now that you made one thing be proper, now you're stuck with doors that are slightly twisted.
So now we're gonna have to make those proper too.
Now we have to make everything good. You should have just let it all be crap. Okay, don't. So it's actually not bad. I see where this door is protruding. Do you want to put your leg on this? It's just a matter of it flexing slightly.
Yeah, so you can see it's flexed out a little bit there. The whole door is kind of twisted torsionally. So I want to fix that with the internal structure that's already actually built in that door over there.
Right.
We're going to support it so that it mates with the body properly all the way around.
Okay. Well, and I have a feeling a lot of that came to be. This also sat out in a junkyard outside.
Yeah.
It was like heat soaked a lot,
Yeah.
so that could have come into place. But anyway, we're making all that right. I really like what you guys did with the hood. Now, there's something fascinating about how we bonded it I want to point out to people. We don't have the really expensive pieces that hold it together and the jigs and all.
Yeah.
So what clever but seemingly psychotic thing did we do to hold it all together to bond it properly?
So basically, we drilled a ton of holes through our one-off hood to sandwich the two parts together.
Why did we do such horrors?
So that it'll bond around the entire perimeter of the inner structure.
Shall we open it up and show
Yes,
exactly?
yes,
Okay.
Yeah. So as you can see, anywhere where we had to kind of have them clamped really close together, we have holes drilled there. We stuck bolts and nuts through there and kind of clamped it all down together.
Right. And to start with, this piece here is still ugly looking, and there's places where it was all crunched up.
Yeah.
So you have already fixed that fiberglass
Yep.
by digging it out and rebonding and redoing the composites on the inside.
On the inside, yes.
And that's when then you then readied it to put it on place. You did multiple fitments and a lot of lines and stuff to hold it together. And then you held it together with bolts and made sure it was right before then you decided to bond it.
Exactly, yeah.
And these bolt holes were drilled here, which crazy enough is exactly where the weather stripping has to hit it, but is really smart because it's in, you got these vertical walls. So when you bolt it together, you can choose how tight to make it and bring that panel bonding adhesive together. So what are the chances of this coming apart or us being able to take it apart ever again?
I don't think it'll happen. I doubt that would happen.
No, it's not coming apart.
It's where it's going to be forever.
So I would say everybody here gets to see the ugly stage in sense of how pretty it is at the end, but this is a beautifully working, very torsionally rigid hood that's going to perform excellent at speed and in every way, shape, and form.
Right.
So what steps are coming up to make this actually be pretty now?
Well,
She's just going through a bit of puberty.
Well, now.
So there's a lot of filler work to be done.
Right.
We have to do filler here and kind of sand everything down. I'd like to do a little bit of kind of cosmetic paneling here to kind of get rid of this gap.
That's a good idea. Blend it.
And make it just look better. Have the inside be like black or something. So have it nicely finished.
Just set it on. Okay. So it will be good just for the people that don't understand the composites. Now, with regard to the holes, obviously those will be filled.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, okay. So the holes will go away. But that was one of those times where it's an acceptable thing to theoretically seemingly destroy it to get where you need to go and then fix it.
Because it probably wouldn't have been as strong if we hadn't had those holes.
No, we either drill those holes and do it intelligently that way and fill the holes, or we spend the next 2 months making jigs that we're going to use once.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like the holes better. Okay, so do you guys want to put the nose on and we can see the fitment there? Is that the right step or do you have to take this off?
We can just put it on as is.
Okay. Do you, can you and Cam do that or do you need 3 guys?
Can you hold this up, Tyler?
Yeah.
Just like hold it in that position.
Do you want me to hold it up while you guys do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So, do you want to come over here and see Tyler's door? Or you want to watch him put the nose on? Oh, they're showboating with the nose. Look at him with the nose. Now, you guys have already made all the mounts for it, or at least the initial ones.
Yeah. You can see where we drilled holes to have our fitment be perfect, but we are well on our way to this thing fitting nicely.
All right. Do you have your hardware handy to put this together?
I don't have the hardware with me.
Who's got it? Ooh, your head. Your head, it's pointy.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. We can drop it down and I'll kind of
You just want to show it with it on like that?
Right.
Okay. Okay, you got the hood?
Yep.
That is pretty darn good ballpark considering nothing is actually properly folded down, man.
And it gets pushed in a little bit up here and sits like that.
That's
pretty nice.
That's a very nice gap for just throwing it on like that. Awesome. Well, I mean, this just goes to show how much you can do and you just start. Looks like when they put the W Motors badge on, it was crooked, huh?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh. Okay, well, that's all right. It was just a stunt car back then. And these fit pretty nice considering that's just initial.
We'll be able to have this pulled in and it'll look a lot better.
Excellent. And obviously these headlights that are faux are going to be cut out.
Those are going to be chopped out and we'll have actual lights there eventually. So.
Okay, so we've got this can bolt right on. This has got the hinges. We can hold this down for testing. What's going on with the doors, Tyler?
All right, so I have just finished the initial structure in the driver's side door, which is still got to get built for the passenger side, but she actually.
And it's got monster hinges already bolted on.
Monster hinges. This was the I believe we showed them in the last episode.
Right.
Those big, like gold-looking
Oh,
hinges
yeah.
that we got from ScissorDoors.inc or something like that.
Now, before you do this, I have to point out the chief engineer of W Motors told me specifically that doing the door hinges on this car were the most difficult engineering task of the entire build.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, thus far, it's definitely been the hardest part. I had to build a lot of structure back here, not only to support the hinge,
and the chassis roll structure.
The chassis roll structure. There was a lot that had to go on in the door to make it work. And there's still a lot to do. This is not by any means the final sweep of the door. I still have to put all of the stopper plates in.
Oh, you don't have those in yet?
These are not in yet.
So we better be careful not to collide things.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's still a work in progress, but it opens up and it goes through its sweep.
Awesome.
So this is without the gas struts, obviously.
Right,
It'll be
right.
assisted. And she closes up and
Nice.
hits on the striker.
See, that's
which is
fantastic
good.
bidding. And you
So-
got it so close, then you can start getting fitment and your sweep and all those details. And the gas strut, obviously, so it's a smooth sweep.
Yeah, so I was able to maintain the stock striker adjustment from the Boxster, so we can adjust where the door hits And if you come over here and look at where the hinge, if you want to come around to the back side here, there you go. So all of these plates here are going to get panel bonded to the door. There's going to be an additional plate behind the crash bar that's also going to get panel bonded so that the fiberglass isn't floppy. But right now, this is keeping the door nice and strong, and we do plan on having more cross struts along where we can, and those will also help support the window regulator tracks. That
right, and you mentioned there'll be a second side impact bar up high as well?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
So that's actually quite nice, and your weight is still quite low for a production base. And I know it doesn't have the window regulators and stuff, but this is no gas assist, and it's quite nice. So
yeah, it's pretty easy to pick
I
up.
think
she closes
this is nice, man.
too.
This is nice.
Yeah.
Let me feel this here. Cool. Nice.
And then you can just close it. Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so that's obviously going to be good for testing. We could in fact drive it like this. It's not gorgeous yet, but
yeah, the car is drivable currently. We have all of the lines in. We have everything to make the drivetrain work. We have to work out some electrical stuff because the computer isn't happy with us having taken the lights and everything off of the car.
Oh, it throws all kinds of warnings.
So it throws all kinds of codes, but those will all be remedied when we put all of our lights and all of our body stuff back on the car. So there's a couple of things to work out with that, but as for driveline stuff and for shifting and all of that, everything's in the car. It could drive right now if we wanted it to.
Nice. Hey Ryan, you want to talk about the 2 panes of glass on the roof?
Yeah.
He's back there working. He doesn't need to be fancy and on the YouTube.
Yeah, I'm back there working
All right, excuse me.
taillights.
You're making taillights, huh?
Wait, we're talking about the 2 panes here?
Yeah, so what do we got going on with this? Because this was kind of a difficult thing. This is the inner composite structure of the roof. This obviously connects to much of the roll structure and the chassis structure there, and this is quite nicely mounted.
Yes.
And then here's a layer of polycarb that's bonded to this, and this translucent is just the protective film. We didn't take it off yet, but you can see that's bonded in there. So what's up with that? How's this attached? How's it go on? What's up with this?
All right, so initially we were just going to use this piece right here, but due to the nature of the Lykan having a very curved roof, this flat piece of polycarb was not going to work.
Right,
so
because you can only do a simple curve out of this way, whereas that's a compound curve. It curves on 2 axes.
Yes. And so we're still going to have this in here. Obviously, it's been panel bonded in and riveted in, so this is still going to be a piece for the inside. But on the top here, we're going to use the piece that came off of the actual stunt car, just because they mounted it a little crooked, as we can tell by the way the holes were lined up.
Right.
We don't care about the holes because we're not going to be lifting
Correct,
this
they'll get
crane.
filled.
Yeah. So we lined it up correctly, put it in here, and then we used,
This is windshield adhesive.
yes, windshield adhesive to put it on there, and
This is really nice. That is really nicely attached.
yeah, it's over there with a bunch of
Shall we
weights
flip it
and-
over so they can see the top side?
Yeah, we can flip it
Do you want to get that side there?
Yep, I got it.
Oh, you got it good, because I only have one hand right here.
Yep.
All right, so obviously it's still in an ugly duckling phase, but I can see that you guys got it aligned properly with the way it's molded versus the way it was for the stunt car.
Yep, we just
And
have
then-
like a bunch of cleanup to do around here,
Right.
filling in some gaps, and it should be good to go.
Right, and obviously where that hole was for the stunt car, that's where they lifted it up. That's got to be filled smooth.
Yep.
So if this is the roof skin and it now has its glass, how does that fit on? Do you want to throw that on there? I saw that you guys have some studs that are taped in place.
Yep. This hole right here.
Yep, that's the hole.
Okay.
There we go.
So obviously you guys have to look past the dust in terms of assembly of making a one-off composite, but you can very clearly see how it's illustrated that there's 2 panes of glass here. The top one that fits nicely with the roof, and then obviously the lower one that'll be good for climate control and all that. Of course, that was initially bonded in, so there's got to be the finish bond of the edging and then everything that relates to making this beautiful. So for all the people out there, just realize there's still a lot of work to do, but it's going quite well. Now you guys are also fitting the cosmetic parts of the A-pillars that goes over the windshield as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So as an example for you all out there, if you want to come and take a look from the front if you want, Josh, you'll be able to see this best. The windshield gets bonded down in this channel here, of course, but will be sandwiched between these pieces as well as between these pieces here. So we've been thinking about how do we make this serviceable, because the Hypersport dash extension, because this is the stock Porsche dash, which will be modified to be the same effectively as what the Lykan Hypersports were, because effectively from here forward, it's all exactly how the Lykan Hypersport was. They utilized the Porsche stuff in the front. having this here allows us to utilize our climate controls for the windshield and still have them work. But if you bond all this in with the windshield, the things that are below this panel are no longer accessible. So we have to come up with an intelligent way that if you need to access those mechanicals in here, you can do so without having to unbond a windshield every time.
Yeah.
So when I talked to you guys last, we were thinking of bonding the windshield at the leading edge and gluing all this together, but making the windshield actually bolt or sandwich in with weather stripping the rest of the way.
Yeah.
What are you still thinking that?
I think so. Since there's actual like fuel system components under this panel, it's important for that to be accessible. So I think having it only partially bonded would be good.
Okay. So the only somewhat frustrating aspect about that, if you ever have to service that, then the procedure would be you would have to completely unbolt and weather strip the roof skin, as well as the A-pillars, then the windshield and all that as one step unit.
Yeah.
But there's really no way around that.
I don't see any other way we can do that. And luckily, everything that's under there isn't very often serviced parts. It's like the top
Right.
of the fuel tank. It's like the, all the wiring for the fuel pump and stuff, and like the AC fill port. Originally, the battery was under there, but that was why we moved it, is so that the battery
Well,
was
and
more
weight
accessible.
distribution.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and this is a small price to pay. Typically, when you get a supercar or hypercar, there's lots of things that are difficult to service. I mean, if you've ever paid attention to Ferrari's history, you just wonder if the designers were sadistic jerks that hate mechanics.
Yeah.
So actually, it's quite a good car to service and really well designed in general from the W Motors. All right, so the big things, that door's got to be finished before we can test. It needs a winch screen, which isn't that difficult. We got to hold the trunk down.
Yeah.
What's up with this giant back with nothing on it?
So we've been knocking.
Oh, hold on a
some
second.
ideas.
Yeah?
We've been knocking around some ideas for structure. Obviously, we need something to support the large rear clamshell section, which is what is over there. On the Lykan Hypersport, it's actually hinged in the back. However, we plan on making ours hard mount.
There's a reason for that.
Well, with the way that the
Can I
box
tell the
is-
reason?
Sure, go ahead.
We want our car to be lighter.
Fair enough. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
really, we're building a super leger kind of version that's good for the street, but also the track.
Yeah.
And by making certain things not clamshelling, that we can save
Save
the
all the weight
and
of
effort of all
hinges
that.
and, yeah, and it makes it, a lot less difficult on us for making panel gaps fit nicely as well.
It makes it a
so-
little simpler when it doesn't have to
Yeah.
articulate.
Yeah, for sure. But we plan on building some sort of structure back here. Again, we're not quite sure exactly how we're going to do it. We have a few ideas. Most of them involve taking bars directly off of the roll structure because we know that's constrained and solid.
Which can be a good idea because that's an opportunity to have additional rigidity of the chassis back
and
here.
additional rigidity is never a bad thing. So we plan on building some sort of structure off of the roll bar there to hold that whole section up.
So is it fair to say for all the younger people or people who haven't ever built or engineered something, the reason you're saying this in this manner right now is because you've been focusing so hard on the doors and everything that you have an idea where you're going with this, but you guys haven't actually gone through everything?
We've been doing this kind of systematically, especially with, doing our best to get it done as good and as timely as possible. So we have been focusing all of our resources on one thing at a time and making sure it is done to the best of our ability. And by making sure that everything is done well at one thing at a time, we're not spreading ourselves too thin and having everything done mediocre. So
True. Also, I have to be really depressing right now. So we were scheduled to go to Mid-Ohio on Wednesday.
yeah,
I talked to them. They canceled the test day.
Did they?
They didn't have enough entrance.
Oh man, that stinks.
just completely?
Yeah, it's
Really?
canceled. I'm sorry. We can't even take the Corvette. There's no test day.
Well, that's a shame.
I get to depress them on camera. So
That's a shame.
So, actually, that does suck. We're supposed to race at Road America next month.
Yeah. I mean, that was, we were all looking forward to taking that thing
Parking
out.
lot test maybe?
Yeah, parking lot test.
The Corvette?
Yeah, in the Corvette. We have a nice big straight road right
No, no, these are all terrible
Kind of a circle.
ideas.
Yeah.
Kind of a circle.
there. We'll just send some spotter cars out.
On that note, one of us, and preferably not me we need to start calling the other smaller tracks in the area, like Grattan and Gingerman and whatnot,
Yeah.
and see if we can get testing real quick.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to take that car to Road America without testing it.
There's a speedway in Fort Wayne. I mean, it's an hour away.
Wait, what do you mean by speedway? An oval or an actual road course?
I believe it can be both, depending on the setup.
Maybe. But the other thing too is we need a big enough track to test the Corvette or it's no go.
Okay.
Because And that's the problem with like Grattan and Gingerman. They're too small of tracks. The car's too big. It's not as good a test. Okay, anyway, we're sidetracked. I'm sorry to depress you guys. So we're going to have to find an alternate means to test this thing really quick. But I didn't want to tell him until last minute because I didn't want him to slack off. Sorry, it's true. So what else? FNG's over there standing some taillights. Should we get him in on this? Hey, where's your taillights? You're just standing around like a peanut gallery with a cool drink. What are you? You're not even dirty. You got sunglasses on your head? Okay, let's see you. Well, now you're inside sanding where it's all nice.
But yeah, here's the 2 final tail lights here, not prototypes, and fit
Nice.
together quite nicely.
Do you want to show them how it fits on the body?
Yeah,
Since this is an actual finished piece?
Yep.
Where's the tail? Oh, here it is.
It's right here.
Okay, which side are you on?
This is actually the right side, so the side that I wasn't prototyping on. That fits in there. Fits in right there. Yeah. Oh yeah, you were flexing it. That's what it was.
Sorry. Well, you know me. I like to flex.
There we go.
Nice. Okay.
Yep. Once these are all one piece and bonded together, it should fit in there nicely. I just got to hold it in right now because otherwise it kind of slides down.
I kind of just had an idea. You probably ought to make whatever attaches that, and then when you go to bond these 2 pieces together, bond it together with it bolted to the piece it's going to be on. That way you know it'll fit when you take it off. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Then it cures in place where it's going to be final resting, and then way you don't have any possibility of it deviating when you actually bond them together.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I probably will do that. And I've actually tested the hardware in here too with these holes, and it fits nicely, so that would be a perfect way to do that.
Okay. When you laser cutting the lens out?
Probably pretty soon, now that I know that these fit 100% with both final pieces here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and pop it out. I'll put the tail down.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So what is your ETA on finished taillights? Because we still got to do headlights.
I actually have been working on headlights too, but
Yeah?
taillights, we have the left side piece being printed at the moment. We still need to do the top piece of that too, just to make sure everything is finalized.
Oh, okay, okay. What do you got with the taillights so far?
With you mean the headlights?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
It's back here as well. But yeah, I'm just starting with the mount that goes behind the headlight at the moment because I can't really cut out the front bumper yet to work on the actual design part. So far I've designed this piece that holds the headlight housing.
Nice.
And like this. Then on the back we have slots cut out for some recessed bolts. I'm probably going to change these to make these ones.
And I like how
a little
they're
bit less
hexagonal, so it'll hold your bolt as well.
Yep, yeah, it's basically embedded bolts essentially.
Okay.
Or embedded nuts. And then just works on there, put some M5s in there and call it a day. All we need to trim a little bit here as well, but.
Okay, so you got your initial mount. We have to start making the buckets and such.
Yep.
Okay, is heat a concern for you?
I am not entirely sure. I need to do more research to figure out what plastic or possibly even metal would be best to make.
We could also
these
put a
out.
heat reflective, radiant heat reflection
Yes.
type tape on it.
Yep, we can do that as well with the
Okay.
aluminum tape.
Cool. What else should we hit? Who else? I'm getting tired, you guys. I'm sorry. Okay, so is this good?
Oh, well, this is the first prototype. There's still a little bit of adjustment I need with holes, but other than that, second prototype is printing, I think, tomorrow.
Okay.
So I have some other stuff on there. I still
What's
need
your-
to print some spacers for these too, but
So what do you think an ETA on 2 finished taillights?
on
Week and a half?
taillights or headlights?
Taillights.
The taillights probably should be finished Friday-ish.
Like
this
done
week.
and assembled?
Should be, yeah, because I already have the soldering done. I did all the soldering for the LEDs.
Oh, okay, true.
And it's just doing
Nice.
sanding and primer and paint on those, and obviously gluing those two together, gluing the other two together.
Okay.
And that should be another like 3 days of printing time.
Okay.
So.
Let me know if you need any help bonding them together.
All right, I will.
Cool. Thanks, man. All right, Tyler. So now I depressed you guys that we're not going testing on Wednesday. How do you feel?
Well, it stinks, but you know, I feel like that hits harder for the cams because they've been the ones, you know,
Yeah, I
really
know,
focusing
racing.
on the race car. But you know, it gives us some more time to focus in on this, and you know, we gain a whole nother day back. So that's good.
That roof looks good.
Yeah, I think that fits pretty well. And that should be hopefully within the next couple of days,
So
bolted and bonded into place.
I know we're not testing Wednesday, and it gives you a little bit of time. Do you think you'll reasonably have the tail and the deck and the other door mounted this week?
Probably not the tail and the deck, but I want to say I want to have the doors completely fully actuated, working and going through their sweep by the end of this week.
Okay, given where we're at, you would rather focus on the doors and getting them done.
I think so, yes, because
enough.
I think once those are finished, like you mentioned, that's the hardest engineering part of this is to get those doors to work.
That
good,
stuff in the rear is a lot easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And in the meantime, I'm gonna go hit the computer and try to find an alternate place to test.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good.
All right, thanks, man.
All right.
Hope you guys enjoy this. See you next time. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and naturally that you will subscribe, but please click that bell so I can continue to bring you wholesome and entertaining automotive content. Also, a huge thanks to Avalon King ceramic coating. They're supporting this channel and making this all possible. But more importantly, I'm looking forward to use it on all of my vehicles, including my old dirt bike. Ceramic coating bonds directly to the surface of your paint, trim, and plastics to give a long-lasting shine that beats all waxes. It lasts for years and it's easy to maintain. I've got it on my Viper right now, and my car has never looked this good. So give them a try. Again, thanks for watching, and I look forward to see you next time.